Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time joining, thank you. If you are coming from a previous video on my channel or you're a previous subscriber, welcome back. In this series I am talking about the Pfaff Creative 4.0 sewing machine, and we are currently going over the sewing mode of the manual. We have done our sewing mode overview. And in the previous video, we talked about the options bar and how to save a personal default stitch and to save a personal menu, also personal files. And today we're going to continue on with the options bar. That's this section right here. Actually, let me pause and adjust the camera, and I will be right back. Okay. Now we can see the screen just a little bit better there. So I was saying that we are going to work with the options bar here. And the previous video was talking about saving files. That's what this icon here is. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to do your tie-off options. And what that is this icon right here. So we're going to hit that, and you can see that this brings up some other little icons. And these options let you program tie-offs both at the beginning and at the end, and thread snips at the end of a stitch. So when touching the tie-off icon, which this is your main tie-off icon here, so you can see how that toggles those on and off. So you're going to have your three options, and the tie off beginning is this one. So that's going to let you tie off at the beginning of a stitch. And then you have this one, whoops, which is going to let you tie off at the end of a stitch. And then you have your thread snips. Okay. So when you have activated your settings, you can hide the three icons by the tie-off icon on your option bar. So once you have them set, you can just turn it right back off and it'll close all those options. Okay. And then you can touch it again and it'll just bring that right back up, and you can change your settings. The tie-off icon will show your settings by changing the color of the chosen function. So where you can see that it's kind of just like grayed out, it'll kind of make it white. The settings will remain active until you switch them off. So there's a note here in the manual, and it says for immediate tie-off, use the tie-off button found on the front of the machine, and that'll have the little icon just like this one. So that's that, and that'll be over here on your panel. Okay, and then sewing with the tie-off options selected. So your tie-off options beginning right here will be performed as soon as you start to sew. I really like this option because when I'm doing quilting, sometimes I will set stuff aside and it'll be a little bit before I can get back to it. And if you're going to move stuff around a lot, sometimes those seams can come undone. And with this option, I can tie that stitch off so it'll be like it's knotted and it's not going to come undone at the beginning. So to tie off beginning will be performed as soon as you start to sew. So that's this one. And then you press the reverse button to perform a tie off at the end, which is this one. And the action indicator will be lit. The machine will finish the stitch and do a tie off. Then a thread snip is programmed, and the machine will automatically cut the threads after performing the tie off end. The needle and the presser foot will raise. Okay, and then we have a note, and it says stop sewing and press the reverse button twice to activate the reversed sewing. So, let's see, stop sewing and press the reverse button twice to activate reverse sewing. The reverse indicator will be lit. No tie-off will be performed. So if you are doing a reverse stitch, if you press your reverse button twice, it won't do the tie-off, whether you have it set or not. Okay, so press the reverse button when sewing in reverse to activate tie-off end. Both the reverse indicator and the action indicator light will be lit. To go back to sewing forward, stop sewing in reverse and press the reverse button. No indicators will be lit and no tie-off will be performed. Okay, so when you are sewing and you press the reverse button twice to activate reverse sewing, so you're sewing a straight seam, you press it twice to sew backwards, the reverse indicator light will be lit. No tie-off happens. You press the reverse button when sewing in reverse to activate the tie-off end. Both the reverse indicator and the action indicator will be lit. And then just to go back to regular straightforward sewing, you're going to stop sewing in reverse and press the reverse button. No indicators will then be lit. Okay, I think that makes sense. Okay, so as you're sewing, you press your reverse twice, it reverses, you press it again, it stops. Then to go back to regular sewing, you stop sewing in reverse and you press the reverse button. Okay, I think I'm confusing myself. So, okay, so I think for tie-offs, you are able to go in and set in your settings. So let me close this one and open your settings. And you'll see here in your tie-offs here, you can also, how it had the thread snips, you can program also to, it's going to always do your thread snips. And I always have it for my embroidery, I have it where it's going to cut the jump stitches. And that's that right there. So that's going to automatically, no matter what I do, it's always going to cut the threads since I have it set into settings. Okay. If there's any questions, please ask down below. If you have any suggestions, please also comment in the comment section. And in the next video, we're going to start going over sewing programs. I think that one's going to be pretty intensive. So that one is possibly going to be a long video. It's going to talk about how to do tapering stitches. It's going to talk about how to do a single stitch program, a patchwork program, and combining tapering and patchwork or single stitch programs. So I've never had a machine that does that. So in the next video, we're going to get into depth in that one. And I hope you all stick around for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you haven't checked out my series on the Brother SE625 embroidery and sewing machine, please check those out. Excuse me. Please give the video a thumbs up. That lets me know that you appreciate the video and gives me the encouragement to keep on going and to keep doing these videos for you. And if you haven't already, if you are a previous subscriber, I do have a Facebook group that goes along with my YouTube channel. And you can join that by just going to Jennifer Sewing and Creativity on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Facebook. And what that lets you do is it lets you join the group. I do have some security questions for the group, and it is private, And I set that as private in order to keep scammers away from you. Before I made the group private, I had some people trying to join the group that were men trying to hit on women, other women trying to post risque photos and sexually oriented photos and everything. So I've made that group private, so you can go ahead and join that group if you wish, and you can share anything you want to that group as long as it is sewing related. It doesn't have to be about quilting. It doesn't have to be about machine embroidery. Anything that is related with sewing, you can post to that. You can share with the other group members. Anything you want to do on that group, as long as it is related to sewing, please feel free to share. Okay, we will see you all next time in the next video, and thank you for sticking around. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.